Hey everyone, so this is Sherlock, or Elementary, sorry, season 7, episodes 3 and 4. I'll go with season or episode 4 or episode 3, sorry. And basically, episode 3 is where um, Sherlock deals with having to clear his name and uh, a man having been killed at a storage facility. So I'll start with the crime of the week, which is the guy underneath the statue, um, dead underneath the statue. His name is Virgil Gwynn, and essentially he was killed and put underneath a sculpture, and so. Um, they find out basically that he would blackmail um, people in the storage unit or in the storage facility. Um, the storage facility's name is Cripsana, and they would cater to rich and shady people uh, because they don't get searched and or anything by um, the U.S. government, U.S. Customs. So essentially, he would go into the people's storage units and try to find secrets and all that in their units. And um, and every time he would get something in uh, secret wise to blackmail people with, he would buy expensive things like cars and boats and houses and all that. And then there's this one woman named Aura Swenson, who is the heir to the Swenson Construction Company. Her father had bought some looted items from various countries in Africa and Asia, where he would predominantly work in. Um, and so they think initially that she was being blackmailed by Virgil to keep quiet so that um, nobody would find out, obviously. So, but it turns out Yura didn't do it, or Aura didn't do it. Um, and mainly because she had brokered a deal, or the UN had brokered a deal um, between Ethiopia and Eritrea um, to have peace and all of that, because there have been like 25 years of perpetual war going on between those two countries. And so, um, and so Ethiopia needs help rebuilding their infrastructure, and they allowed Swenson Construction to do that. And in return, they wouldn't they wouldn't um, they would look the other way, basically, um, of the looted items that Swenson has. Um, but essentially, what they find out is that um, Virgil had found this journal of an archaeologist who was doing a dig in, um, I think, Ethiopia. Um, and um, they had smelled, methane and another gas, meaning there was an indication of fossil fuels there. And so um, they wanted to give Virgil decided to give this journal information to this what was it, appraiser, Florentini, I think his name is. um, and Florentini gave that information to the Ethiopian government, who then pulled out of the peace deal with Eritrea. Um, and basically, Sherlock finds all this out, um, and finds out that Florentini had told this hitman about Virgil, and had the hitman kill Virgil and all that. So Florentini, he lures Florentini to this uh, apartment um, uh, building where his father, Sherlock's father, rents an apartment from, um, and has one of his friends, though Florentini believes that it is the hitman trying to kill him. So Sherlock's friend starts shooting at the, I guess, bullet resistance uh, glass, and makes Florentini believe that that's the hitman. And he gets the appraiser to agree to tell the police everything. So that's the main storyline. The sort of B storyline is that Sherlock has a assistant director of the uh, New York field office um, make his case of killing Michael go away, and because the assistant director is on taking bribes from Sherlock's father. Um, Turns out that the FBI agent only shifted the blame to someone else, who ended up killing himself in prison, and Sherlock isn't happy about that. So, and I don't think that guy is not going to go away, because even though we didn't see him in episode 4, I believe we that in episode 3, that's not the last time we see of him. But anyway, so going to episode 4, called Red Light, Green Light, the main storyline is that a trailer truck is, what we later find out, hauling elevators or elevator parts, and he gets rammed by this van, who, what we thought was running a red light. Turns out they both had green lights, not the trailer truck having a green light and the van having a red light. Um, so they initially thought maybe this had to do with the shooting of Gregson, but it wasn't. Um, they think it was a street gang named by Mara Trace. Um, and so Charlotte goes to the former leader of Mara Trace, who moved to, I think they said, Connecticut. And the former leader, said that he got out of the gang life when after his sister was killed, because he couldn't take, all that light, all being in that life anymore. So Sherlock threatens to out him to the Connecticut police if he doesn't help him. So um, the dude manages to get info, and like you said, it wasn't a terrorist attack. The driver of the van wouldn't run a red light with gasoline in the van. So Sherlock deduces at that point that both the drivers of the van and the truck had green lights. Back at the precinct, Sherlock and Joan hypothesized that someone in the FBI orchestrated it so Mary Chase would be labeled a terrorist group, so the FBI would get more money to investigate them and thus better equipment. But they only said all that so that they could see the reactions of the FBI agents, and they realized that none of the FBI agents actually did any of that, like hacked into this um, security feeds to change the lights and all that. So one of the FBI agents thinks Sherlock and Joan is right about rigging the lights because someone used a Trojan horse to hack into the mainframe by the name of Overlord. Um, Sherlock then meets with NSA agent and Overlord, um, and after speaking with Overlord for a little bit, Sherlock realizes that the path that Overlord traced, trying to figure out uh, which green lights were um, being used, um, turns out that the path of the truck is um, like the it was the truck was the target, not the van. That's what I'm trying to say. The truck was the target, not the van. Um, so Marcus and Sherlock talk with the truck driver, um, and they find out that he didn't know it was in the crate, so they couldn't have been after him. Um, and they figure out that the elevators were in the truck. Um, and they realized that a competitor of the the owner of the elevators has a competitor who had decided to want to um, slow down the company's shipping, and the best way to do that is to have um, the trucks get into accidents and therefore delay them to go back out, because it apparently would take a little while to um, get the trucks to go through the insurance and all that and make sure everything was okay. So the competitor, the head of the competitor's company, he had a mole inside the company hauling the elevators in that truck at the beginning of the episode, and um, yeah, and so basically um, that's basically what happened. So um, like two other things, or one other thing actually. Um, Gregson wakes back up and is on the mend. Um, so will Sherlock and Joan go meet with him individually, and you know put everything behind them. But um, Joan doesn't think that Meers, the guy who shot Gregson, is actually telling the truth, um, because things don't add up. So essentially, she goes to meet with Meers' wife and figures out that Meers was talking to people via his video game console, and she tried to talk to one of those friends of his, and he ends up defriending Meers off of that video game. Um, and Mears' wife goes to visit him in prison, and he slips her a note saying, uh, "Tell them that Joan Watson is trouble." Basically saying, do something about Joan. Um, tell them to do something about Joan. So that's basically what happens in this episode. There were decent episodes. I am looking forward to seeing what happens with the whole Mears Gregson thing, and I am um, wondering what they will do with that. And like I said before, I don't think that that FBI agent that made the case against Charlotte go away is going away. I don't think that he was just there for one episode and that was it. I think we'll see him again. Um, so maybe around episode 6. Um, and then maybe again at the series finale, we'll see him again. But I don't think he's going away. I think that was just the beginning of seeing of him. Um, and I think there's more being planned with this Meers guy. Um, because it didn't seem like that was going away either. So um, I'm looking forward to seeing those two other storylines play out. Um, but yeah, they were episode 3 was decent too. Um, it was the B stories were really more interesting rather than the main storyline of both of those episodes, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens more with those B stories rather than the actual case of the week. So um, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and then I will see you guys next week. Um, Speaking of next week's episode, a woman is running a marathon. It looks like a marathon, and is killed with, I guess, like either an ice pick or a knife or something, and maybe a pig is involved. Um, who knows? But again, I will see you guys next week, and have a good weekend.